They say blood is thicker than water. But sometimes, blood can drown you faster than any storm. My name is Michael Ade, and this is the story of how my own brother took everything from me, and how karma took it all back, without me lifting a finger. I grew up in a small town where everyone knew everyone. We didn't have much, but my parents raised us with love and discipline. They owned a little grocery store by the roadside, and every evening we'd all help out. My father handled customers, my mother stocked the shelves, and I, the quiet one, fixed things. From radios to old fans, I could bring almost anything back to life. I loved fixing. I loved building. And I dreamed of one day running my own electronics company, something that would make my parents proud. Then there was David, my older brother. Smart, handsome, charming. He had the kind of confidence that made people believe anything he said. Everyone saw him as the future of the family. And me? Just Michael, the quiet one. But I didn't care. While David spent nights at parties, I spent nights repairing broken gadgets in the shop corner, dreaming of the day I'd start my own business. My mother often said, "Michael, one day your hands will build something great." And I believed her. After university, I started small, one wooden table, one screwdriver set, one broken fan to fix. I named my little shop MA Repairs. Every customer mattered. Every repair meant hope. And slowly, things started working out. That's when Angela walked into my life. She came to fix her phone, and somehow, she fixed my heart too. She was kind, soft-spoken, and believed in me when no one else did. While others mocked my small shop, she'd smile and say, "Michael, I see your future. It's bright, even if no one else sees it yet." With her by my side, I felt unstoppable. But life has a way of testing how strong your faith really is. One day, David returned from the city. He had been working in real estate, dressed sharp, driving a fancy car. He came to visit the family and stopped by my little shop. He looked around and said, "Not bad, bro. You've actually built something." I smiled proud. "It's a start." He nodded, then added, "You know, with my business connections, we could expand this. I can bring in investors. We'll turn this into a proper company." I hesitated. I trusted him. He was my brother, but I also knew he was different. He loved control. He loved attention. But family is family. So I agreed. That was my first mistake. We registered the new company as M&D Electronics, Michael and David. But David handled all the documents. He said he had a lawyer friend who would sort everything faster. I didn't question him. At first, it was great. David's connections brought new clients. Our little shop turned into a busy workplace. We even signed our first big contract with a bank to maintain their office equipment. I worked day and night, fixing, managing, training new staff. David just met clients, collected payments, and took credit. But I didn't mind. I thought we were building something together. Until the morning everything changed. I arrived at the shop and froze. The signboard that once read M&D Electronics now said David Tech Solutions. My name was gone. Confused, I rushed inside. Everyone avoided my eyes. Then David came out in a crisp navy blue suit, smiling like a king. "Morning, little bro," he said. "What's going on?" I asked, my voice shaking. He pulled out a file. "You're out. I've restructured the company." I stared at him, not understanding. "I started this business, David, with my tools, my money, my sweat." He cut me off. "You wouldn't understand business, Michael. You fix wires, not contracts." He tossed a white envelope at me. Inside was a check, small, insulting. "That's your payout. Take it and move on." I felt my chest tighten. The walls around me blurred. My brother, my own blood, had stolen my dream. When I ran home to tell my parents, my mother cried softly, but my father said, "David is the eldest. Maybe it's for the best." Even Angela, the woman I loved, began to change. David started visiting her, bringing gifts, talking sweet. And one day, she stopped answering my calls. A week later, I saw her with him, laughing in his car. When she saw me, she looked away. That night, I sat in my empty room, staring at the tools I had left. I cried until my throat burned. Everything, my work, my love, my dignity, gone. Taken by someone who shared my blood. I disappeared for a while. Left town. No calls, no texts. I just needed to breathe. I moved to a nearby city, took a job as a repair technician for an old workshop. It wasn't glamorous, but it was honest. For months, I worked silently. But pain has a strange way of becoming fuel. Every time I remembered David's face, that mocking smile, that betrayal, I pushed harder. At night I studied. I learned about modern electronics, marketing, management. I saved every penny. And I prayed. Years passed. 3 to be exact. Then one day I decided it was time. I registered my own company, Ade Innovations. I didn't tell anyone. No big launch, no fancy signs. Just quiet work. I started small, but this time I had experience, wisdom, and scars. I treated customers like family. Never cheated anyone. Slowly people noticed. Within 5 years, Ade became one of the fastest growing electronic service firms in the region. We had schools, hospitals, and government contracts. We trained young engineers. We made a name based on trust, something money could never buy. And then fate, or karma, came knocking. One morning, I got an email invitation for a government contract bidding. The biggest project I had ever seen. The list of competitors came with the email. And right there, among the names, was David Tech Solutions. My hands froze on the mouse. I smiled slowly. Karma, you're right on time. The day of the presentation arrived. Big hall, big stakes. Every company was represented by their top executives. When I walked in, I saw him, David. Still dressed sharp, still loud, still pretending. When he saw me, his face twisted. Michael. Hello, brother, I said quietly. He forced a laugh. You're here to watch or? To compete. He smirked. Don't embarrass yourself. But this time, I didn't argue. I didn't need to. When my turn came, I spoke with confidence. I didn't use fancy words, just truth. I showed real data, practical designs, transparent costs. When David's turn came, he tried to dazzle everyone with lies, inflated budgets, and fake promises. But times had changed. People saw through the show. 2 weeks later, I got the call. Ade Innovations won the contract. And not just that, 2 additional projects followed. Meanwhile, David's company lost everything. His investors pulled out. His accounts froze. His staff quit. His name, once celebrated, became a warning. Months later, I went home for my father's 70th birthday. David was there. He looked nothing like the brother I once knew, thinner, tired, humbled. He walked up to me after dinner, eyes wet. Michael, I'm sorry. I messed up everything. I hurt you and I hurt myself. For a moment, I didn't know what to say. Years of pain, betrayal, humiliation, all came rushing back. But then I remembered what my mother used to say. Don't let bitterness make you forget who you are. I sighed, placed my hand on his shoulder and said, It's okay, David. Life teaches lessons better than I ever could. He nodded, tears falling silently. And in that moment, I felt peace. Because I finally understood, forgiveness isn't about letting someone escape justice. It's about freeing yourself from the chains of hate. Today, Ade Innovations keeps growing. We train young people, create jobs, and give scholarships to students who dream like I once did. And sometimes, when I drive past the old shop that once carried my name, I smile. Not in anger. Not in pride. But in peace. Because karma took care of what I couldn't. And time healed what I thought never would. When betrayal comes from blood, don't fight it with hate. Just rise in silence, because karma always speaks louder.